Hello, and welcome to this Mindsoft case study looking at how to visualize and analyze a specific company's patent portfolio using PatBase. Today, I'll be taking the example of British Petroleum to investigate the company portfolio using the corporate tree and PatBase Analytics v2. Currently displayed on the screen is the PatBase main welcome page, which I will first navigate to corporate tree. You can find this under the Search tab in the floating toolbar. In here, I will type in BP. As you can see, the corporate tree has identified BP plc, and clicking on this will display all the various assignees under which BP files their patents. There are a number of options that we can select from here. Clicking on Subsidiaries will display all the subsidiaries under British Petroleum. For example, Atlantic Richfield, Alexander & Duckham, and American Oil. Clicking on Information will display Wikipedia information for BP. And lastly, clicking on Stats will display a quick summary snapshot, which provides some summary information and displays two charts, including top jurisdictions by the number of applications and the number of applications and grants over the years. By clicking on any of the checkboxes to the left of the assignee names, we'll include this in the PatBase search. Clicking on the checkbox next to the mother company, BP plc, I can search all the selected subsidiaries and assignees in PatBase. Once the search has run, I will load the data into PatBase Analytics v2 to start interrogating this company's patent portfolio. I will then review the 36,000 plus patent families with regards to the following menus. Firstly, the jurisdictions where BP are filing their applications. Secondly, their activity over the years in terms of the number of filings and the number of grants. Thirdly, the assignees under which BP are filing their applications, the inventors within these companies, and the top classification codes in terms of the technology areas where BP are filing. A keyword analysis will also be used to identify the most prominent keywords identified within their portfolio. And finally, the Legal tab, which will give us an overview of the legal status of the 36,000 families. The dashboard page provides a quick summary of what we're looking at. The information boxes are displayed in green, and this includes the summary details, which has the first and last publication dates, the total number of jurisdictions, and the total number of assignees within the result set. We then have sampling details, which provides the number of families reported in PatBase, the sample size, modifier, and confidence interval used, and so on. We also have the executed PatBase search and the date the search was conducted. And lastly, we have the patent type breakdown for this result set. Below this, we have some statistical information, so the total number of patent families, the total number of patent families with grants, the number of applications, the number of publications, and forward and backward citations within this result set. Below this, we have the summary widgets. We can see the key jurisdictions, which is the top jurisdictions dependent on the top number of families. We have the core agents, inventor activity, jurisdiction application status, primary assignees, keywords, citations by jurisdictions, worldwide activity, and many more. To look at this in further detail, I will now walk through the menus on the left-hand side of the page to see what further information we can retrieve about this patent portfolio. Starting with jurisdictions. We can see here that although BP is predominantly a UK-based company with a UK-based headquarters, the majority of the priority filings are in the US, probably because Standard Oil is a large subsidiary which is based in the US. Germany and UK also feature within the top 3. Moving on to where they're filing their patent applications, you can see the vast majority of the major states are being filed in by BP. The US is again number 1, We can also see Germany, Canada, UK, France, Japan, the EPO, etc., which is not surprising for a big organisation like BP, where they require worldwide coverage for their patents. Next, I will investigate the Years menu and have a look at the priority applications and see how their number of filings has changed over the years. There's a striking drop here, as the number of priority applications filed by BP since 1996 through 2018 has significantly reduced. A slight rise was recorded halfway through 2015, followed by a significant drop-off in late 2015, early 2016, and continuing to fall through 2018 to where data on newly published patents end. I'm also interested in identifying their top assignees. So which of the subsidiaries or which of the companies within BP have the highest number of filings? We can see here that the US Standard Oil comes out as a top assignee within the BP family. BP is actually at number 2. Looking at assignee by jurisdiction, Standard Oil are filing their patent applications predominantly in the US and Canada, with the UK and France coming 3rd and 4th. Now moving on to the inventors. Grouping the inventors by company, it's interesting to see that most of the top 25 inventors within the BP family actually originate from Standard Oil in the US. Let's just have a look at the last few menus, starting with classification analysis. I'm looking at the CPC classification code and at the subclass to increase the granularity of the data we're seeing. I can mouse over the bars to get a good description of the relevant codes. I can also swap to see the top IPC classifications insteed. Here, the top classification subclass is C07C, which relates to the preparation of carboxylic acid esters organic chemistry. The keyword analysis within PatBase Analytics V2 gives a different way of visualizing your portfolio with a different perspective compared to your comparison analysis. I'm utilizing the grid view here, but there is also the word cloud, tree, or landscape option to choose from. It is a nice quick visual overview of prominent areas in which BP are working in. For example, hydrocarbon, catalyst, separation, reaction product, and so on. These are all areas that you would expect BP to be active in. You can also split this view under Chart Settings, selecting on the Type tab and selecting on Split Screen. In the split screen view, clicking on any of the keywords will display some information on the right-hand side. You can then take this back into PatBase. The final area that I will be looking into is a legal analysis of the BP patent portfolio. Looking at this pie chart, the majority is granted. It is then made up of lapsed, reassigned, published, with the remaining quarter made up of other various legal events. The time to grant option shows how quickly BP has had patents granted in various countries. BP is getting patents granted quickest in Portugal, in comparison to countries like Japan or Canada. There are a number of reasons for this, and to find out why, we would need to delve deeper into the portfolio and consider what kinds of applications are being filed in the various countries, and also what the situation is at patent offices around the world in terms of backlog. All charts and graphs displayed in Analytics V2 can be shared to your colleagues or to your clients. Simply navigate to the chart settings and select the last option. In here, you can choose to download your chart in various formats, or you can choose to print your chart as well as produce a share link which you can send to your colleagues or clients. Thank you very much for watching today's Mindsoft case study on company portfolios. I hope you join us for another case study soon. Goodbye.